Good morning, everyone. It's Hanifa Menon, and I am live, I believe, for our Sunday morning meditation and self inquiry time. And I hope you've got a good morning. So far, I don't know if you've woken up early for this or for anything else, or if you have just got up, and that's totally fine. I am glad that whoever is here to join me. And whenever you watch this video, I hope you go through this process of meditation. I'm about 5 minutes early, maybe 6 minutes early, so it's 7:54 on my clock. And what a beautiful day. We've got snow here today, so it's just starting to come down. I think we're expecting about 10 to 15 centimeters in some places and 5 to 10 in others. And well, I guess it's just the season for snow, and it really looked very pretty out there, but I'm very happy to be inside. So I hope that you're comfortable. I don't know what the weather is like in the area that you're in, but again, weather reminds us of change, right? And change is interesting that it just happens naturally, whether in our bodies or outside of our bodies, right? That this is always happening, change is happening. Today, you'll notice that my intention is to talk about, well, kind of consideration, I guess, is the term that I decided to use today for what we're doing. Consideration, and consideration is a big word, right? But it takes a careful thought process about something. That's a careful consideration, right? So it's a thinking, it's a reflective time. So this self-reflection time, I'll definitely be talking about consideration. And it's interesting, we're all thinking about ourselves many times, right? It's so we have consideration for ourselves. We have consideration for how we're thinking. This is what I think. This is my opinion, right? So we have that consideration. We have consideration for our bodies, right? I'm hungry. I'm sleepy, right? I'm aware of that. And I have a consideration for my body of this is what my body is telling me I need right now. We have consideration for other needs, right? There could be sexual needs, there could be spiritual needs, there could be learning needs, right? Or desires, right? So all of those, it's all part of the consideration that we give to ourselves. And we're very aware of that. And of course, today, I would love for us to be thinking about consideration we can have for others, right? Because unless we are mindfully aware that everyone is aware of their own needs, who's aware of ours, right? And there's loads of people that are considerate, and in different ways. It could be through thoughts, through prayers, through good wishes, through just knowing. And there's something even higher, right? So there's this something that helps us. So if you think about sleep, for example, we go to sleep, and in deep sleep, we let go of all of our concerns, right? So it doesn't matter how much you love your dog, your spouse, your partner, your house, your home, anything, your meals, anything. We let go of all of that in deep sleep, right? And something has a consideration that's working through our own systems. And again, I will be talking about this a little bit more in the actual self inquiry time. And remember that inquiry could be changed into the word reflection, it could be contemplation, it could be consideration, right? So all of these terms could be used in terms of understanding our experience. So we've got 3 more minutes, and I'm just going to be waiting here for anyone who's able to join us today. Um, Again, you might be watching this much later. It's again 8 a.m. start time here on every Sunday. And I hope that some of you will be watching either right at 8 a.m. or at any other time through this day or the week. And I hope you really do practice this meditation with me and on your own any days of the week. And self reflection is a wonderful habit to get into, because we can't really understand why we're doing what we're doing until we actually take a little bit of time to inquire, right? Why? Even our own wants, desires, needs, benefits from a little bit of contemplative time of why. And then, of course, the bigger questions of the world of why is this happening? I'm not going to say things that you might see on the news, like, why is this happening in that country, right? Or in my own country or in my own city? Because those are questions to ask for sure, and important questions too. But how about why are the wonderful things happening, right? Why is it that I don't have to ask the sun to come out? I don't have to ask the moon, it just does. And why is it that after I have a deep sleep, in that deep sleep, something is taking care of me, right? So, all of those why questions are probably, in my opinion, a little bit deeper and gets us connected more to a higher space. Um, One could call it with God or with the universe or with our own higher consciousness. And there is incredible value to this. So it's 7:59. We're almost at that time. Today, I am going to be going through the chakras and thinking about consideration, right? So, how considerate we can be for these different areas. And it's 8 a.m. So, I'm going to start today with our 3 deep cleansing breaths. So, if you're lying down, lie down comfortably, put your arms at your sides. And if you're sitting, sit up tall and straight back, straight up. Feel like you're being pulled towards the ceiling from your head, so nice and tall. We can put our hands together to begin with, and let's take our 3 deep breaths. Breathe in and out, and in and out, and in and out. Let's put our hands to our sides. If you're lying down, you can keep them on your lap on either side. If you're sitting, some people prefer putting their hands together in the middle of their lap, and that's fine too. I prefer putting it on each separate thigh. All right, so let's start with 3 deep breaths at our root. Our root chakra is, remember, the space that connects us with the earth. It allows us for having a strong foundation and steady footing, right? So let's take 3 deep breaths here with those awarenesses. Breathe in and out, and in and out, and in and out. I am grateful for this strong footing with the ground. So, whether you're able to stand, whether you're sitting, whether you're lying down anytime in the day, have the consideration for your own body that is allowing you those positions, and for the earth, which is also allowing that stability. I'd like us to take 5 deep breaths here, thinking about that consideration for ourselves and for the earth around us. Breathe in and out, and in and out, and in and out, and in and out, and in and out. Thank you. Let's come up to our sacral chakra, remembering that this is a space for creativity and nurturing. And I have consideration for the processes in my own body, in this body, that allow my digestion and my ability to nurture myself and the world around us. I have consideration for everything that is helping me do this. Let's have 5 deep breaths here. Breathe in and out, and in, and out, and in, and out, and in, and out, and in, and out. Thank you. Let's come up to our solar plexus and remember that this is the space that allows us to act from a place of consideration in our thoughts, words, and actions. And our actions can be during our waking day. It could be in our dream time of this consideration of this is what's happening in my mind. So if you have a dream, you might know that it's your day to day experience and thoughts, words, and actions that are leading to your dream space too. And then there's that consideration for the sleep time, which is also some higher consciousness that's working through us to keep us safe, healthy, and taken care of in that time. I have consideration and gratitude for all of these functions that are happening that allow my actions to be considerate towards me and the world around us. Let's take 5 deep breaths here with that awareness. Breathe in and out, and in and out, and in and out, and in and out, and in and out. Thank you to the universe or God or to my higher consciousness for allowing me to act from consideration for myself and the world around us. Let's come up to the heart chakra and let's remember that this is a space for love. And there is something that is considerately loving us, considering our needs, our wants, our desires, our hopes, and that we have that same energy flowing through us to share with ourselves and the world around us. So let's take 5 deep breaths, thinking about this loving consideration for ourselves and the world. Breathe in and out, and in and out, and in and out, and in and out, and in and out. Thank you. Let's come up to our throat chakra and let's remember that there is something that somewhere, someone, or some energy is speaking to us with consideration for our experience. And that we can speak to ourselves with that consideration for our experience, and we can speak to others with the same consideration. So let's take 5 deep breaths here with that awareness. Breathe in and out, and in and out, and in and out. and in and and in and out. Thank you. Now let's come up to our third eye chakra and remember that something is being considerate in how it's thinking of us. And we have the same ability for that consideration towards ourselves and towards the world around us. So, with that awareness, let's take 5 deep breaths here. Breathe in and out, and in and out, and in and out, and in and out, and in and out. Thank you. Let's come up to the crown chakra. And let's remember here that there is something that is an energy that's flowing through us that is allowing this consideration for our thoughts, our words, our love, our actions, our nurturing, and our connection with this earth. And let's have some gratitude for that energy that is flowing through us, that has consideration for us, that we also have the ability to be considerate towards. Let's take 5 deep breaths here. Breathe in and out, and in and out, and in and out, and in and out, and in and out. Thank you. Now I'd like us to just, whether your eyes are open or closed, I'd like you to just focus on this energy of consideration, whether for yourself or the world around us, and just be truly immersed in that idea of considerate thoughts, words, and actions. And keep breathing. Let's take deep breaths here. Keep focusing on consideration. Consideration will also mean thoughtfulness, right? 2 more minutes, we're going to do consideration. Focus on that. Perfect. It is 8:15. Let's put our hands together and take 3 deep breaths here. Breathe in and out, and in and out, and in and out. Namaste, everyone. I truly have consideration for you for joining me today, whenever you're joining me. And this is such a beautiful feeling of knowing that there's people, you and I, are in this moment together, thinking thoughts of consideration. And many times we do not know the energies, even people that we don't see that are just as energies. It could be friends, family that we've lost that are no longer even in this world experienced through our human eyes, that are wishing the best for us, that are thinking about us, that are praying for us, that are sending energy to us. And whether you know it or not, this is happening constantly. When we think about the universe, which is alive, right? We know it from the sun, the moon, the earth, the air, the weather, the changes, right? That's all happening. And it's happening for us. It's not happening to us, right? It's happening for us, like lovely blessings, the air that's around us, the warmth or cool, the ability to warm up in our own bodies if we're cool, or the ability to cool down if we're warm, right? All of these things are coming through energies that are helping us. Today, it was interesting that in this contemplative time that I had this morning about consideration, I came across this great quote that I thought I'd share with you, even in this time, which was about selfishness, because there's been a few people that recently have been commenting on selfishness and mostly about other people and how they are considering other people's actions as selfish. And of course, we can know what selfishness feels like if we're feeling that someone is selfish. Because why? Because they're not looking out for another person's needs, right? And oftentimes, when we're most sensitive to it, it's our needs, right? So, this quotation that I had come across was selfishness, definition, is a lack of consideration for the selfishness of others. And I love this. It's a lack of consideration for the selfishness of others. So, why aren't you doing X for me? Right? It's so selfish of you to just be thinking that you want to sleep for longer, right? Or you want to get up earlier. Either of those are so selfish because either I want to get up or I want to sleep, right? So, recognizing this, that when we are referring to someone else as selfish, is because it's not meeting the selfish needs of another person, right? And we all are looking out for our own needs in whichever way. And those might be very, very basic examples, right? But of course, there's all sorts of things that happen in life that we think, wow, I gave this person something. And Christmas is coming up. And very often things like this will happen at Christmas time, that I gave this and they only gave me this, right? That sort of idea. And you will probably be aware of this, or you might even have some guilt if someone gives you a big gift and you've given them something that was very small. And you might think, oh, I should have spent more. I didn't think that they would go overboard in getting me something so expensive. I was really hoping that it would just be a simple thing. Or I can't believe that I spent so much on this person and this is how little they've spent on me. Or I've done this for this person all year and I thought at least at Christmas they would give me something. And this is an important consideration to have, that none of us know what anyone else is going through, right? So, as much as you might think that you might know another person, you might truly know their personality might be more tight fisted, right? And you might be right. And there might be reasons for that. No, there are reasons for that. You can trust that there are reasons for that. And then we look at our day to day experience, which is very much what we can call the transactional environment that we live in. So when we're thinking this way, I gave this, whether it was through all year or whether it was in this moment, this is what I gave, and they only gave this. That's a transactional environment that we're living in. And this is very interesting because businesses will often do this. That I heard about this recently, about this strategy of, even door to door, when people come door to door for anything. It could be about church information that they drop off. It could be about a free whatever. Try this chocolate bar, whatever it is. That used to happen at Union Station in Toronto regularly when I would go, especially around Christmas time, but many times through the year, where some company is trying to be known. So they give a free gift of try this, and it comes with a coupon. And it's so interesting because, they're giving something free. So this example of someone coming to the door to say, hey, you know what? Would you like this pamphlet of whatever? And you might take the pamphlet, even out of just consideration for their time and effort for coming to your door. And then the person says, and do you have 5 minutes to speak? And suddenly you've taken something and you feel like, sure, I guess. And you might not want to be listening to what they're sharing. And you might be very firm of, no, I don't. And here, take this back, right? Because you suddenly feel like you accepted something from someone, and it could be a complete stranger. And now you feel like giving back. So whether you will feel like giving back in your time or your listening or in considerate communication, there is the natural tendency to do that. So even when we look at samples, so Costco or grocery stores of various sorts will have free samples, right? And many times, and you'll notice this probably for yourself, or you might have watched others. People will stand and talk with the person who is giving them a free sample, right? Because suddenly we feel pulled into, well, this person's doing this work and I just had this sample and yeah, it's actually tasty. It's good, right? Or yeah, it's not quite what I like. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to throw it out. Something like that. People do feel a desire to give back in some way. I'll feed back something that they have given to me, right? Now, this is transactional and it will happen in relationships, right? We know that people will say, well, I take out the garbage and they do the dishes, whatever it is, right? So there's different things that people will do in terms of relationships. Even roommates will do this, right? I clean on this day, they clean on that day. I do this, they do that, right? So very, very common. This is a transactional world that we often live in. Now, if we have a consideration to this higher source of energy that comes through us, and if we're thinking about this, that's something for any of you who were listening at the beginning of this today, you'll find that I was talking about in deep sleep. There's something that has a consideration for us. Sorry, there is something that has a consideration for us that has nurtured us, through that time of deep sleep, right? So there's been no thoughts, there's been no dreams, there's been no action, right? Our body, mind, intellect is not involved in deep sleep time, yet something has kept us alive. And when we wake up in the morning, we realize, I'm alive. And many of us don't take the moment to say, thank you, universe, for keeping me alive for one more day, right? One more night I got through. And it's not because you're going through something not easy. When people are not well and they wake up in the morning, they might be aware that, wow, I got through that night, right? But to have that time of consideration for something got me through, that's a beautiful space. And then we can be in the same space in terms of our day to day life experiences. It's not because someone is doing something for me that I'm doing something. So, whether we're thanking the universe in waking up in the morning or thanking God, or whether we're thanking our body for functioning in a way that's allowing us to breathe or to walk or to have bowel movements or to have sleep, right? All of those things, or digestion, right? All of those things that we can have that consideration for something is taking care of me. A lot of people would like to say, well, it's my healthy system. It's because I eat well and it's because I sleep well and it's because I exercise and all of those things. And quite honestly, nothing is happening of what you're doing in that deep sleep time, right? So recognizing that all of those things are still happening, right? And being taken care of for you, for us, right? And then in our day to day experiences, tapping into that same energy of, I have the ability to take care of others or to nurture others or to think well or to put out positive thoughts or to pray or to be considerate in my interactions or to have kindness in my words. That's a considerate action, right? It's speaking the thought, words, and actions out of consideration. How about how we're speaking to ourselves, how we're thinking about ourselves, how we're acting, right? So, have I thought kindly of my own system today or my own thoughts today, that I've kept them in a very positive space? And that's easier on my body by being in that positive space. That, yeah, you know what? I'm okay. I'm breathing. I'm able to sit. I'm able to do whatever you're doing today that you are able to do. Are you able to be lovingly considerate to yourself of, yeah, I'm doing this because it helps me and it helps me think well for others too, right? And then if I'm speaking well to myself, I'm considerate of, wow, this part hurts. So I'm going to be a little bit more gentle with how I use this. What people will do is, let's say something is wrong with the hand, the wrist, the arm, and they're reaching for something. They feel that, ouch, that hurts, right? They're like, I just can't do the things that I used to be able to do. And we all go through this in various times. You can have a paper cut, and that'll be the finger that keeps on touching something, right? You go to pick up something, and that's the finger, and that's the spot that you feel. And we'll all feel it, and we'll say, oh, yeah, I keep forgetting to avoid that. I'm going to grab something with my other hand. But we're so caught up in this doesn't feel good that we forget about all of the other fingers that feel great, right? So that awareness. So again, if there's something going on with the arm, I might be very drawn to, this arm is just not how it used to feel before. But if I can focus on, but this arm is, and soon this arm can get stronger, I am going to appreciate the arm that is very strong right now. I'm going to appreciate, I'm going to have consideration for the fact that my body is trying to support me, right? So this is another arm and this is another arm, and this can get back to this space, right? So that sort of awareness that I have a consideration for my body, right? I have a consideration, even if how we're thinking about this arm that's not going through an easy time. How do we speak? How do we speak to this arm and say, wow, this really doesn't feel good. This used to be a lot stronger. It's how a lot of people will speak, right? How about, wow, you're going through a really not easy time. You don't feel so good right now. You used to feel much stronger, and it's okay. I know you're going through this, right? Speak to your body. Let your body cells feel this awareness of your consideration, right? So that's coming right from your thought, and it comes from your heart too. This loving consideration for your body that is with you and trying it the best it can to get on track, right? And then finally, we think about our actions, right? And many people can say, oh, I should have done this. I forgot to go here. I was going to get this for my child. I was going to get this for my husband. I was going to get this for my wife. I was going to do this. I promised I was going to get that from downstairs and bring it up. I was going to, whatever it is, right? I was going to and I didn't. We can think about those things a lot. We can also think about the things that we actually did do. I did this. And if I didn't do, I can do, right? I am going to do this. I'm going to call this person. I'm going to ask about someone else. I'm going to step outside of my own selfishness to understand someone else's selfishness out of their own perceived needs, wants, desires. And we all have them, right? So having that awareness, even if you call it selfishness, recognizing our own and the fact that we're all working from this space and we can do it with a considerate energy rather than I'm only looking out for me. I only have to think well for me. I only have to speak well to me. I only have to act well for me because no one else is doing it, right? A lot of people I speak to will say this. And quite honestly, there is a certain truth. We are most responsible for ourselves. We can do it in a considerate way. And you know what? There's always a little bit more. Later today or maybe tomorrow, I will be putting up a video on my YouTube channel too about consideration and just this idea of just a little bit more. I hope today you are giving yourself just a little bit more consideration. I am noticing that it is 8:30 over here, and I'm so happy that you joined me for this discussion, this self-reflection and inquiry. Think about yourself and why you do what you do, and hopefully pull away from judgment towards yourself and anyone else. I wish you all a fantastic day ahead. I hope you have a beautiful, considerate day and you notice the consideration that's coming to you from others too. Have a beautiful day, everyone, and namaste again. I'll talk to you next week. Have a great day.